Hey guys, get the thumb away. Hey, okay. Hey guys, today I am woken up. What does that mean? How can such happen? What? Yeah, no. Today I don't know. I have no plans for today, tomorrow, and I don't either. I don't have plans for Friday either. But tomorrow. Wait, is it? I think it's Wednesday today. I don't have my watch, and I don't want to stop the recording just to check the date. But I think it's Wednesday today, based on it being Tuesday yesterday. Uh, and at least I don't remember anything I had to do today. Um, which is nice, I guess. I don't know. I I've had a lot of things to do this week. Compared to like uh, earlier weeks, I guess. I don't know. I'm kind of giving myself more and more stuff to do in the week. Um, but I'm really like realizing like how much downtime I actually need for my brain to recharge before I can like go into more stuff or like do more things. Um, and so it's nice trying to like balance that stuff, because if I didn't have the opportunity to like balance it out, and it like if I always had to be around people or I always had to keep doing stuff every day, I think that is kind of why I ended up kind of burnt out. uh, yeah, because i i haven't I haven't really realized like how much my brain is needs to like process whenever I'm just doing the average human stuff. Um, I don't know. I've not been making a lot of these videos in a while. I think I've just lost the importance of this project. Uh, I'm thinking like I it could be that I'm trying to live more before I like so I have stuff to talk about. But I don't think that is actually a. We need more water because I'm just thirsty as hell. It's so hot outside now, or not right now, but like every or yeah, it's becoming super hot. The game. Ooh. Okay, there we go. Oh, yeah, it's becoming very hot outside, and I do not like the hot. I don't like hot weather. I like not freezing weather, but I like the temperature where you're not like really sweaty, or when I'm not really sweaty, because I get very sweaty very quickly if it's like slightly more warm outside. Like if I can't, I don't know. I walk pretty quickly, and so I get pretty warm and sweaty when I just walk around. And walking around in like 15-degree weather, like just pure sun, blue skies and stuff, that is very that's when it maybe that's the like the my threshold, like 15 degrees. Anything over that is just like, oh, I don't want it. So I like when it's around, I don't know, I like when it's windy and stuff. So I get like more air cooling. Because, yeah, I mean, we got sweat, which is water cooling, but I don't wanna, I don't know. I just don't like the because like I'm always sweating either from my hands or my feet or like just somewhere on my body. It's just always sweating, right? And I hate the feeling, and I'm so used to feeling sweaty that whenever I can, I choose to not get sweaty. It's not like I avoid exercise because I don't like being sweaty, because when I exercise, that's a different kind of sweat, because that's like, I don't know, it smells different, it dries different, and I don't know, the kind of sweat that I have on my hands, it makes my hand like gross to touch stuff, and I need to wash my hands every time I go to touch anything, because it's just, I don't know, it feels disgusting. It's like going around with um I don't know, I don't know how to describe it, because it is like if you've just shit, like you've just gone to the toilet and taken a huge shit, and then cover your hands with like poopy particles, and then even though you wash your hands, you wouldn't go grab a sandwich right afterwards, right? Like the shit smell would stain into your hand, right? And it, yeah, that's kind of like the mental faculties, or I don't even know what that word means. Um, that's kind of the mental gymnastics I gotta do to, like, if I don't have access to a sink, I just don't eat, because I feel so uncomfortable when I touch food if I haven't washed my hands, because it's like, uh, if I if I have like shit on my hands, right? I wouldn't touch food if I and I didn't. I wouldn't, like, you wouldn't even touch utensils, right? Because you would think like, oh yeah, I need to wash my hands because I don't want shit in my food, and that's kind of, yeah. It's not really that I'm afraid of bacterias. It's more that like the simplification of the brain's perception of what is clean, what is dirty is kind of like a simplified thing of like, it's not the bacterias, it's more or less the vibe of the my hands. Like I don't think like, oh my god, now I don't know, now I'm, oh my, there are so many thoughts in my head, but still, I don't know. It's oh yeah. By the way, I moved everything. Yeah, basically, not the TV though, because that's mounted into the wall. So my roommate has moved out. He's still gonna have to come back and clean the rooms that he had, and then my stepdad is gonna have to like approve or disapprove the cleaning. But he went to the military, and he like my roommate went to the military, and he learned how to wash. So I don't think he's gonna leave a spot, or maybe the the training has worn off. I don't know. Um, but yeah, so soon I'll either have to, depending on how like the economy thing route or whatever the economy plan that I have or whatever happens, I think there are like three different outcomes that can happen. The first one that I really want to happen is um me being able to live alone and actually like economically uh, support that, like hopefully because yeah, I don't know, it's gonna be very tight on the money, but I think being able like the amount of space in my head that I can dedicate to other stuff than processing another human being at every point in time. What? Uh, okay, that I don't know if that. Okay, so okay, yeah, at least the first outcome I think is me, or that I want is me living alone with enough like money to cover that and be able to live and not like go homeless after like a few months. Um, the second option is that I have to find like I'm not able to support it, and I need to find someone else to fill those two rooms. Um, and I don't think that is kind of what I need right now because my brain, the way my brain works so far, at least that I've like realized that this far, is that if someone else is in the building, I'm or in like this part, I can't fully relax my brain and I can't recharge my batteries. Uh, yeah, my mental batteries or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of why I feel like I need to be like live on my own and not around a lot of people, because if I live around people, I can't escape, uh, and I can't recharge, and then it makes basically it really hard to do uh, the basic human stuff like going to a job or be at school or like doing stuff, because I can't give much of myself when I'm at places, because I don't know if I can relax afterwards or if I have to wait for some day next week to relax, right? And then for every day that I'm doing stuff, it kind of like adds more days that I need to take away from everything. And if I go like 2 weeks without fully relaxing, I'm gonna need like 4 weeks of just pure nothingness. And that is not very realistic. So therefore, instead of like being away from everyone for a month after like 3 weeks of doing stuff, it's better to have like one day a week or like consistently, like I can relax after I've been to places, like after like later the day I can just like sit down, and I know that when I get home there are no one that there's nothing that's changing in the house. If I don't change something, it won't change, right? And that's kind of what my brain, like whenever someone changes something, when there's like for example a system where if there's like a task list, uh, and there are multiple people uh, like doing tasks and taking like tasks uh, from the list, every time that list changes, my brain needs to do like mental gymnastics to kind of like recalibrate what has changed. And I don't know, it's one of those things that people who don't understand it will be like, bro, that's so easy, what the fuck do you yap about? um and that is kind of like what I thought in the beginning as well. Like, bro, it's not even that big of a deal. It's just like some words on a list. Um, but it's, I don't know, in my head, a lot of those small things take up a lot of space, and a lot of those small things happen all the time. Like, people don't go around looking at like, okay, this thing changed. Okay, now I gotta reprocess this whole thing and stuff like that. But that's kind of how I see the world. Like, small change. I basically see the small changes, and that's kind of, I don't know. Um, the the proportionality of like the small changes, and my brain noticing them or whatever. It uh, it is not the same as how regular people see the world, I believe, or so I think, because I don't hear a lot of neurotypical people talking about this, because it's, I don't know, it's one of those things that's like, no, it's, you don't gotta, just don't stress about that, just move on or whatever. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, yeah, uh-huh. And then I sit there and do nothing, because my brain is processing, and they can't see my processing. They might see me doing nothing, and they might think, oh, he's being lazy, he's doing nothing. But in reality, the nothing that I'm doing is processing, and the processing can't be seen, but it can, or the processing itself can't be seen, but the you can see the deficit of what I'm doing, right? Or what I, like, you can see what I'm not doing, but you can't see what I'm doing. And therefore, it can be frustrating for a lot of people to see me do stuff, because it can very often seem like I just choose to not do stuff, but it's more that I choose to um like account for how my brain works. And if I respect how my brain works, my brain respects me back more. I That's at least what I feel, right? Like, I feel anytime that I anytime that I listen to my brain and allow my brain to do its braining in the way that it prefers, things go way more smoothly. And therefore, being able to relax whenever I feel like I need to, instead of having to rely on, is this person at home today or is this person not home today? Okay, I'm gonna find out when I get home. And then I find out that they are there, and it's a day that I need to rest, and it's just like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna buy uh, put my relaxing on standby for now, and then hope I will get another chance tomorrow. But that is not very sustainable, because it's not. It leaves a lot of uncertainty, and the uncertainty is what makes it kind of hard in many ways, because it's the like I'm not able to um it's kind of the same as when I was given a task at my old job, and they would like I would do very little the first day, or do something. Yeah, maybe I would do like little the first day because I was like new to the project. And then the next day when I wake up in the morning, I would start thinking about how I would uh, continue working on the project that I was given, or the task that I was given. And then I, from the moment I wake up and until after the morning meeting, I would be like, okay, this is how I will do it, and okay, if I do that, and then this, oh, I was inspired by this, and I can do that. And then when they tell me, like, oh, yeah, by the way, we're gonna cancel that project because they didn't reach out again, uh, that is kind of the same. Like, for those who remember, those who have seen the previous Yaptime videos, um, it is basically the same problem, I think, because it's like me making a prediction of what's going to happen, and then it not like it colliding with what's actually going to happen, and then I need to like re-steer that boulder thingy from like going down the hill or whatever. And yeah, um so it's kind of like the more certainty I have in my day-to-day life, the easier it is for me to do like spontaneous stuff, or like push myself further and try out stuff that I'm not sure about. Like I can go many places alone without like having a friend with me, or like I don't I prefer walking around alone and like going to places. Like for example, tomorrow I'm gonna go to some improv thingy, um, and I'm gonna go there alone because I wanna get like the full experience of like what it is there. I don't want to have someone with me and like potentially alter the way I think or act or am or whatever. I want to see like how does my brain interpret those people, and like not be the interpretation not be contaminated by someone I know, right? Like someone else, like uh, yeah, I don't know. I prefer going around alone. Um, yeah. Oh yeah, and the third thingy is like the third option that I never told said. Uh, like first is me living here alone, and economics are okay. Uh, Second is that I have to find someone else because I can't afford this or whatever. And the third is me not being able to afford this at all, like this place, and having to move. And that is like the least optimal thing, because then I have to like relearn so many things, and I don't know. It would take me a lot of time to get used to a new place, and I think it would. I don't know. In my mind, it seems very counterintuitive to all of my plans so far, and so there would be a lot of boulders that I need to stop from rolling down the hill, and it would probably like stop me from being able to do a lot of things for quite a while, and that's kind of why I don't want that to happen. Like, that's the worst case scenario. Like, I'm not saying that I would prefer death over moving, but I certainly will feel like it in the process, probably. Um, and so, yeah, I don't know. It's it's not. Yeah, I don't know. These are the problems when you live in a utopia or whatever. It's like there's people dying everywhere and like starving to death, and I'm just yapping here like, oh, I want to live here because yeah, I don't know. I mean, humans are very good at seeing problems, and being able to see a problem is one thing, but also being able to see a problem and being able to think out a solution for that problem is also very human, or very, that's also a thing humans are good at, right? Like, I don't think me having to move because I can't afford this place alone is going to be the end of everything, but it will definitely be, it most likely will be a setback, for like a temporary setback, but it could like motivate me in certain ways, but it would change a lot of the plans that I have currently. And the changing of those plans is kind of like, if everything changes at once, like the amount of processing I need to do before, like, before before I can, like, in parentheses, recover. Oh, I forgot the sentence. Oh, okay, yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know what else say. Bro, it's only been 30 minutes. This might be a little bit shorter of a video. I don't know. I kind of want to play some Balatro. 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 Yeah, I don't know. I've probably ruined this here. Yikers. Oh yeah, I've been drawing way more recently, and I've found like a lot of enjoyment in drawing, and I've gone to um like places, like I've been going uh, yeah, I've been going places and drawing instead of just sitting at home, and I've found that by doing that, I yeah, it's not as easy to like lose energy and like, oh, I don't want to draw anymore, I just want to watch YouTube, or just want to do something else, right? It's a lot easier to be like, okay, I'm at this place, I don't really have anything else to do, I don't want to sit on my phone, um and if I don't want to like go around and like talk with a lot of people, I can just sit down and grab out my drawing uh drawing book or whatever, the book of Marius sketching. Um because it's been very motivating, because it has been, I don't know, when I'm out and about and like going to like places and drawing, it's been very satisfying, because I I'm not fully immersed, like I'm not getting flow state that much when I'm in those places, but it's kind of nice in a way, because I think differently than when I'm in flow state. It's not as nice as flow state. Like flow state is like, oh, it feels so nice. It's kind of like being high. Not really, but it's kind of its own thing, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I really like flow state because it makes me feel. Uh, I don't know. It just feels really good. Um, yeah, I guess like thoughts just flow. I don't really like. Well, sometimes I get stuck in like a loop of things. Like I think about the same thing over and over again, like the same 10 words or like the same paragraph of ideas for 8 hours straight, and it can be very annoying. And I can realize, like, oh shit, just I'm just answering the same question over and over again. Oh, when will it stop? Right. And it's kind of, that's also kind of fun about um flow state, because sometimes it just gives thoughts that, yeah, it gives thoughts, and those thoughts can be good, they can be bad, but being stuck with them is kind of like making me find ways of either accepting it or like interpreting it differently, because if it repeats like a billions of times for hours, right, you will either suddenly realize something new, or you will, I heard banging on the wall. You will either like realize something new, or you will like accept the thoughts, right? Like if I did something cringe, then I can be like, yeah, I am cringe, and like, and that's based. There's no one else I would be than me. I'm cringe. Yeah, I really like that video. That's kind of funny. Um, but yeah, no, I've realized like I have a gift for putting myself in very cringe situations sometimes. Um, and me not being able to like perceive the level of cringe that some people might be feeling. It's kind of, I don't know. I like that vibe. Mm, yeah, I don't know. Um, yeah. Oh yeah, I've been practicing more saxophone, and I've yeah, I'm slowly chipping away at possible ways of improving, because I haven't bothered looking for a teacher, because I'm like, okay, I don't want to spend money on stuff now, because now I'm gonna have to pay double my rent, because I'm gonna live alone now, and I gotta make sure I have enough money for food, and so I try not to get, I don't know, I try not to pay for anything that I don't absolutely need, I guess. The problem is when I realize like, oh shit, I need new like reeds for my saxophone, and I can't find the reeds that I want or whatever, and I have to buy from some online store again, where it's like, oh yeah, just pay us this and this for free shipping, and I'm just like, yeah. I didn't even do it the last time, but I did buy an ocarina. I haven't used ocarina very much. It was a bird, and I kind of keep it on the shelf because I like birds. So it was definitely not worth. Maybe. It's I can use it for music making. I mean, I say that, but yeah, someday, maybe when I get the rooms upstairs, I can finally make this my music room, and the living room will be like an everything hobby related type room. That's at least what my plans are. That's where the camera is. Um, so yeah, my plans are to, or like the what I have currently in mind that I've like thought about for a little bit is I want to make this into a music, either music recording studio room type beat, um, or um, like a music production and recording studio in one. And then the living room as like where I have my computer and where I have my TV and sofa or whatever, and like I can where I can like if I have a project, if I want to make something, I can make it in there because that's where the air conditioner is. And I've realized that air conditioning is really, really nice to have in a like a working environment, like, or like a hobby environment, because it makes it so much easier to be doing the thing. Like if it's summer and if it's steamy outside and inside because there's no air conditioner, um trying to focus on art is rather hard because I'm thinking like, yo, it's so fucking hot. I'm so fucking not feeling like sitting in this tiny room and doing fuck all or whatever for like hours because it's like the I don't know, it's not very fun, and therefore putting all my hobby stuff in the air conditioned room, it will likely make it easier to do stuff, and maybe I could even like um make it easier for me to like record my process, maybe make um some document like video documentation of what I do, and that could be some like a way for me to grow an audience, because right now I'm kind of growing an audience, but I'm doing it very slowly because I do feel like I do think that it's important to have some slow growth, because what I've realized with a lot of people who have gained like sudden uh, fame or like a lot of attention all at once, it kind of uh, it kind of makes it confusing from what I've gathered. Like you don't know what you really want and what kind of people you want to attract, right? But if I take it slowly and like find out what kind of audience I want to attract, um it's a lot easier to be happy with what I'm or fulfilled with what I'm doing. Because the last thing I want to do is like get my goals and then feel empty. Because if I can't feel fulfilled if I reach my goals or when I reach my goals, I can't make a goal that will make me fulfilled. And therefore, one of my goals is to feel fulfilled, or no, I don't know. I find it very important to consider uh, like how fulfilled I will feel when I reach. Well, it's not like I have a goal. Like building an audience is not a goal. It's kind of an ends to a means, whatever that thing is called. Because I don't see like I don't think like, oh, I want to be famous because that would be cool, like people seeing me and telling me I'm cool and stuff. I want that. Like that's not what I want, right? Um I want an audience because I want to be able to do a little bit of everything, right? I don't want to sell one part of me. I don't want to do one thing. I want to sell the whole bundle of me. And how do you sell a bundle? Well, you don't sell it by selling individual things, right? You don't sell a bundle of roses by selling each rose by itself, right? You sell it by packaging it up together, like a few roses up into like a bouquet or a bundle or bouquet. I don't know, a bouquet of flowers, right? You you could theoretically, you could technically sell each rose, and that might be easier to sell because it's uh, less of a hassle to drag around one rose. But I feel like if I just sell, if I just do one thing, I'm capping what I can do because I'm kind of like I don't want to do one thing for the rest of my life. And I feel like if I earn money on, like if I think like, oh, okay, how can I earn money? Oh, I have this and this knowledge. Okay, I can use that to gain money. But instead of like I don't want to uh, sell a product. I want to sell the collection of the products all in one, if that makes sense, right? And an audience that is around, like based on the bundle that is me, is better. It seems, at least it would be better than having a very weak, like a large but weak audience that is focused on like that one thing I'm more good at, or that one thing that I got famous for, or whatever, right? Because I don't want to be purely like a performer. I don't want to purely be a painter. I don't want to purely be a 3D artist. I want to be all of those things. I want to have the freedom to actually do all of those things. And I don't want to become a 3D artist. I don't want to become a performer. I don't want to become those individual things. I want to become Marius, right? I want to be me. I want to do all of those things that I feel like I can do. And I don't know. I feel like growing a a strong audience over a longer time will result in not only uh, no I believe building an audience over a longer period of time will not only make the audience stronger, but it will also be easier to control, if that makes sense. Like, I can do decisions on my own to determine, like, okay, do I want to do this because I feel like it's gonna give me more followers or more like a bigger audience, or do I want to do this because I feel like this is what I want to do and I want the people that enjoy this to become a part of my audience, if that makes any sense. Because right now I have the tiniest little bit of audience, right? Like, I don't think I can consider the all of the people that I have in my Discord server as my audience, but I do have some people there who are like, "Yo, Marius, you can do it. Yeah, you can do this." And like right now, I'm just like a micro celeb or whatever. Like, I see the value in taking the long route, because if I take the long route, I have more chance to shape my future and like taking decisions that form who I am, instead of others taking decisions for me and shaping who I become. Because when you're given super, like, I watched a documentary yesterday about Aurora, and I saw that, like, in the documentary, uh, she went from a 16-year-old, because she became, I think it was, no, it was 2016. Either she was a 16-year-old or she wasn't. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what, but yeah, she, in 2016, I think she got like found by this music producer who found her through a Facebook post that one of her friends posted about, like, she was like Aurora was on stage in the school, and and her friend posted the clip of her singing her own song to Facebook, and without her permission, and then suddenly she gained a massive, like, it went viral and she gained a lot of attention, and then the music producer found her, and throughout the documentary he kind of seemed like he had no interest in music. He mostly, like, he was a businessman. He was not a he was not an artist, and I know that a lot of um like I know that managers, or no, he wasn't a producer, he was a manager. He was a music manager or whatever. And yeah, it's important to have people who fill in the blanks where you can't, right? Because, like, managers, they fill in for you with the economic stuff, and I guess some people, I don't know, it's kind of um, he seemed so disconnected from the music side of things that he seemed to be a very bad manager, because I feel like being a like the in my opinion, a great music producer would be able to understand both sides, right? not just the money side. And I believe that would go for artists as well. A great artist wouldn't just be good at art; they would be good at um, marketing that stuff as well, right? Because if you, then again, I'm talking about stuff that like normally is like, oh yeah, you learn about the things that you're good at or whatever, and then you let other people do the things that you're bad at. But one thing I've realized throughout the years is that it's not about, or for me, it's not about what I'm good at or what I'm bad at. It's what I see the value in, right? If I see the value in learning about um, economics, right? If I have a start point that I can um, it all comes down to, most often it comes down to where you start, like where you get on the ride, and what kind of information you're able to get about whatever you're trying to learn, and how much practice you can do, and how much repetition of that practice. Because right now I have no idea how to start learning about economics, because it seems like it's such a confusing thing, because uh, all of the laws and stuff, it's not like art in the sense of there are no laws, because if you have the same mindset when it comes to money, you can easily end up in jail or having to pay a lot of money, is what I've figured. And so the risk is a lot higher when it comes to learning about economics. And so the higher the risk, the harder it is to try and fail, right? And I feel that in art as well. If I have art supplies that are like either expensive, or I can't be bothered to go and get more of them, and then I have like a very limited amount, it's very hard for me to use those materials. Even though I have the materials, it's hard for me to do it if I know that, okay, this is all I have about, or all I have of this, and if this doesn't work, then I have to go get more. And it, like, I've found ways of moving around that limitation, but it's kind of it's not a solution, it's a temporary fix, because it's not really, I don't know, when I find ways to I think when, like, if I had more money to burn, like, this is one of those theories where I'm just like speculating what might be. If I had more money that I could burn or spend on stuff without, the less risky a purchase becomes, the easier it is to use it, right? I don't know, because there are things, for example, like watercolors. It feels a lot easier on the economics than acrylic paint, because acrylic paint needs a lot of, well, I have been realizing that I could water them down and like not keep them as uh and not keep them yeah, because I haven't watered down my paint, because I have very, I don't know, I have the Amsterdam märke. Hold on, I gotta go piss real quick. Okay, I'm back. Oh, the thumb. It's the reference to the intro. What? Okay, so I was taking a piss and a shit, and I reflected even more. And basically, for the time being, what I'm like one of my one thing I've been realizing is that the people in the government that is helping or trying to help or give advice um about like where do I go in the future. It's kind of like a little annoying because, or yeah, it's kind of annoying being there because they don't they don't see what I like, all the different things that I can do, right? They only see like, okay, or they only know what I've told them and what like they expect, right? Because they expect like, okay, I've done 3D graphics, and that is what I'm good at, right? Because that is that is what I was employed at that studio for, right? I was doing 3D graphics, but they don't know like how comfortable I am in front of crowds, and how like my music and stuff. Even though my music is pretty trash, um, like compared to if you think about like the technical know-how of music production and stuff, it's pretty trash, but it's definitely got some value, like some personality. The right audience would probably like the thing, because I know that a lot of the people that I know in real life find some of my music pretty funny, and yeah, that's kind of the vibe I'm going for with my music. I don't want to make something like, or I don't think, at least, or I'm pretty open to what I'm willing to make actually, but what I think I want to make is like music that isn't necessarily like, whoa, this is so well. I do kind yeah, no, I do kind of want to learn to make like music that I'm impressed by, and I am um wait, where am I going with this? Anyway, the people giving me advice and stuff, they don't know about all of the different things that I've learned that combine into like a lot of things. Like I told them last time, which was on Monday, like about uh, um, my the things that I learn. I feel like it's each thing is like infinity stones, and I'm just like collecting infinity stones and putting them into the gauntlet, and then I'm Thanos, and I can just do anything. That is kind of what I feel like, and one of my one of the plans that I have now is like trying to get help from the government to find a job in a game development company, like a local game development company, and then I want to learn coding, because I feel like coding could tie everything that I have already learned together, like everything about music that I know or that I've learned, everything about 3D, anything 3D graphics, I guess, and anything about like traditional uh, art, photography, like even video stuff. I feel like coding is kind of one of those foundations that if I learn, like if I get a good start point, because that is often the thing that makes things difficult, starting at the right place, right? And that is kind of what was um like when I started making 3D graphics, I didn't have like a reason to do it other than it's fun. And the like it was very brute force type workflow, and I didn't know what I didn't know, right? And I made a lot of bad habits, and I had a lot of um, things that I needed to relearn. And I'm hoping that I get the same drive from coding that I got from learning 3D graphics, because when I started to learn 3D graphics, like actually learn it at the studio that I learned most of my 3D graphic stuff, I realized like how much of the stuff that I've already learned ties into 3D. And I could sit for like 6 or 7.5 hours making 3D graphics at work, and then get home and continue for a few hours more, because I was so baffled by how much you could do in 3D. And yeah, I before I was at the course, like I took the game development course thingy in that one weekend, and I met that guy who works at the game studio here locally in the city. Um, like before I went to the course, I thought like, I don't want to learn programming. It's so boring, and like I don't have a use for it. But then when I was there, I was kind of like, yo, it's actually so much more fun than I thought it would be. And it's so much more um it's so much uh more exciting than I thought, because I had thought of coding as like just like an English exam, right? I don't like writing that like English exam or Norwegian exam or whatever, but it's not like that. It's kind of um it's building blocks of kind of everything, if that makes any sense. Like you can if you know coding, if you get people who understand how to think when coding, it's kind of like I see that the things that I can learn from learning to code or learning to think like a coder can benefit all of my things, like all of my interests, not just making a video game or making a little program saying like hello world. And I have taken like a lot of programming courses earlier in my life, but all of those have been like way too simple and way too strict in what you're able to do, right? You're given like the standard pixel art graphics or whatever, or you're given like pre-made assets, and there's no creativity behind it. But at the course that I took that actually inspired me to get interested, the the part that got me interested was me being able to sit and make stuff in Blender while he was explaining stuff to the other people there, right? And I made not very good assets, but I made a whole bunch of assets while we were like programming the basics and stuff. And I managed to, from the knowledge that I had about Unity, from like the tiny bit of uh, VR chat character creation things that I tried, and even from stuff that I had learned while using Unreal Engine, it came in handy, and I was able to um, like import models. I was able to assign materials and stuff, and like there were so many things that I had learned through Unreal that was applicable in Unity. And that is kind of it's kind of like going from Premiere to DaVinci Resolve, right? It's kind of, it's the same program, kind of, but with different skins, right? It's the same purpose, right? The Premiere and Resolve has the same purpose of like uh, making video production. It's a video production product or software, um, and the tools are very similar because you need the same tools, right? You don't need a hammer tool, right? You don't need to hammer nails into a video clip. Um, so you don't like, you need cut tools, you need uh like keyframes, and yeah, and the, like it's the same across video uh, editing softwares. It like different software, wow, different softwares might have different levels of complexity for like the tools that you're given. Like Filmora Share, I think, is like one of those where you're like cutting the, you're basically, there was one of these programs that were like, oh yeah, you cut the clip and then you move it and then you reposition it or whatever, and you can zoom. Wow, you can zoom and you can like give it a template slide transition or stuff like that. But with DaVinci and Premiere, um, you get more tools, but it's kind of, it's got the same core tools, right? It's the same parameters, but it's got more parameters. And if you don't know how to use the basic parameter or the basic tools, the extra tools will make it seem like it's really daunting. It's kind of like uh, picking up a software like Photoshop to learn to paint, or like digital painting, when you don't understand how to paint in a digital software. Like I learned more about drawing from drawing in Paint, or no, I think I had a lot more fun drawing in Paint, like the Microsoft Paint, than in Krita or Photoshop, because it had so few, like it had two brushes, which was one brush and one pencil thingy, and I went from using the brush to using the pencil because the pencil didn't have anti-aliasing, and so I could get more control, kind of, and the bucket tool would fill in correctly if I used the pencil. And yeah, I don't know, I felt like, oh, this is becoming an hour long. Okay, every time I say this might be a shorter video, it's going to be like 2 hours long maybe. um but anyway, I I don't know. Mm, yeah, I don't know. Programming is kind of like I've realized like, oh shit, there is so much cool stuff you can do with programming. And I know that if I start with the DaVinci Resolve equivalent of programs with all of those extra things, like it's going to be harder for me to learn um, like the basics and understand the basics. Because if I don't understand the basics or the fundamentals of whatever I'm trying to learn, any information that is more complex than the fundamentals will be way harder to absorb because my brain doesn't know how to interpret the knowledge, and therefore it will more often like discard the information or not write it down as efficiently because it doesn't know what to do with the information. Because information overload is definitely a thing that can happen and definitely does happen. Mm, a lot more than I really want. Because I would love to just be able to sit and watch a bunch of video YouTube tutorials or whatever and being able to soak up everything. But that's not the reality. I can't look at more than like one or two videos about saxophone, for example, in a day before I'm just like, oh, there's so much. Oh, what do I do? I don't know anything, and then give up because I feel like it's pointless because I'm never gonna learn all of this stuff. But I don't need to learn all of this stuff right now. I can learn all of this stuff over the course of 5 years, over the course of 10 years, maybe even just two. Um, like too much information in one into much into little time doesn't mean you will learn quicker. Usually, like some people might have like the ability to read like one book and then like know everything that happened in that book if they like read it in like 10 minutes or whatever, like a huge book in 10 minutes, like speed running through the thing. But I think most people, if they could read that fast, would forget a lot of it because the brain wouldn't have space or stuff, like wouldn't be able to place the information anywhere because it would know that okay, there's a lot more information coming in. uh I gotta dump some of it overboard or else I will become overworked and overstimulated and just stops functioning because it's using too much power or whatever. And I don't know, I've realized like the more I learn about different things, the more being aware of my brain is important. Because in the beginning it's very important, it's very easy to think that it's like getting good at something requires the skills in the thing, like in the thing you're trying to learn, and everything else is like it's not necessary. And like the procrastination is like seen as like, oh, I'm just lazy, I'm being lazy right now, oh, I gotta stop procrastinating my projects. But in reality I believe that procrastination is kind of a mindset that is easy to let win because it's hard to realize why you're procrastinating, because it's very easy to think like, oh, I just I shouldn't procrastinate, oh, I hate how I always procrastinate, and then not acknowledging why am I even procrastinating, right? And like why do I not just do it? And then instead of thinking, okay, I don't do it because I well, so it can be easy to think like, oh, I'm not doing my project because I don't have the tools uh, that I need for it. Right, I'm lacking the tools that I need. But I think that is also a mindset that is easy to get lost in, because when you think about tools and you think like, oh, I don't have this tool, therefore I cannot do this. Right, if you don't have a hammer, you can't hammer a nail. But you can if you have a solid object, like an object that is solid enough, you can hammer in a nail. You don't need a hammer to hammer a nail. You can use a sledgehammer, you can use uh, a stone, you can use a wooden plank, right? Being like um letting no yeah um and so the procrastination there would be not from not being able to think, or not being able to change your perspective, or being able to look for other or alternatives, right? And so um just like being stuck with the thought of like, oh, I'm just a procrastinator, right? Thinking like, oh, this is just who I am. I am a person who always procrastinates. Instead of thinking that, because that will reinforce the procrastination, that will reinforce the mindset. And when you procrastinate later, you will accept it. You won't challenge the procrastination. You will accept it, and for every time that you procrastinate, you will reinforce it, and you will be more and more comfortable with procrastination, and you will get less and less done because you won't push through the thought of you won't think, oh, maybe the procrastination is limiting me from actually doing the thing, and the procrastination itself is the thing that I need to tackle, not the lack of whatever I think I have, or the things that I think I don't have, right? Like instead of seeing like, oh, I don't have a hammer, oh, the only reason I can't make my idea come true is because I don't have a hammer, right? If you focus on the um I don't know, it's focusing on the wrong thing. And I I think that um I believe that focusing on the wrong thing, like how to know if you're focusing on the right or the wrong thing, is nothing if nothing changes when you're focusing on the thing you're focusing on, that is probably because it's the wrong thing to focus on, right? If you're trying and trying and trying and you can't get a different result, you might be focusing on something that is a decoy thing, kind of. And instead of brute forcing it, trying and like over and over again by doing the exact same thing, instead of doing that, uh, if you then look for, okay, if this isn't what's what is needed to be focused at, what is, and then look for different ways. And I think I have a tendency to, because this is how I learn saxophone, right? I think like, oh, okay, the sound is bad because, okay, what is the reason for this bad sound? Okay, is it this thing? And then I try this thing. Like I try relaxing my lips because I had my lips tightened before, and that helped somewhat, but it wasn't the full thing. And then I tried buying a new mouthpiece, which I can't tell if has changed anything or if it's just the same. uh, and I've been going through like the same things over and over, and I've realized like, yo, okay, so it's not it's not always that it's wrong. I don't know. I haven't reflected enough on this to really give a concise answer about this. But I don't know. I think it's really important to question like if if you procrastinate, like if I procrastinate a lot, or if I often have, or if I'm often lazy, like why am I lazy, right? Not I won't benefit from thinking, oh, I'm lazy, I'm just a lazy kind of person, right? Because then that will reinforce it. But if I allow and also if I get upset from being lazy, like, oh, I need to do stuff, I'm so lazy, I just gotta do stuff, right? Then it doesn't fix anything either. It just, or it often leads to like negative self-thought, right? Like if I can't go into doing stuff, like, oh, I'm so lazy, I can't do stuff that I want to do. But what I feel is more beneficial is thinking, okay, why am I lazy right now? And then realizing, okay, I have done a lot of stuff this week. Maybe I am overstimulated because I haven't had time to recharge. Or maybe there are too many things I have to do today, and I don't know how to begin or what to begin with, because I need to do this thing before I do this thing. But to do this thing, I need to do this other thing first. And then like the order of, but that could be ADHD, because the executive um, like the task, the priority queue or whatever is kind of like, I don't know how to do, because sometimes when I get home, I from like going being outside, I come home and I take off all of my clothes so I can like chill, like become cold because I'm sweaty probably. And then when I've like reduced my body temperature, um I wash my feet because I get sweaty on my feet and it feels very nice to have clean feet. Uh, and then I'm able to do other stuff. But if I can't calm down and like, if I don't chill my body temperature before washing my feet just get sweaty again instantly. And therefore, I need to wait for my body temperature to calm down. Or that's at least one of the things that keeps me sometimes waiting, because I think like, okay, I need to wash my feet before I can make dinner. But then I have to reduce my body temperature, and so I don't have to wash my feet again, like right afterwards. And yeah, if I can't get into the shower, if I can't get the motivation to go get into the shower, I can't start making food, and therefore I'm stuck in the loop of uh like, it can seem like laziness or procrastination, because it's not that I'm avoiding the cooking dinner part. It's more that I'm stuck between earlier like statements, right? I'm stuck between, I need to wash my feet, but I also need to cool down first. And so I can't, or I could, in theory, make food before. That would be the easier answer to this problem, right? I would just make food before I uh, before I cool down. And that could be the point where I feel like, oh, I'm just lazy. I'm just not doing it because I'm lazy. I could do it now because I'm just sitting here. But those moments of sitting there cooling down is important because that allows the flow of the way that I want to do it, like in the order that I want to do it or that I have planned. And changing that order takes a lot of energy for me. And it is not like I know a lot of people who really dislike that because they're like, oh, but it's not that hard, you could do it, it's just don't think or whatever, just do it, right? And they don't take into consideration how it is for me, right? They think how it is for them, and for them it's easy, and therefore it must be easy for me as well. I must be lazy because I can't, or I say that I can't do it, but that must mean I'm lazy. And since they can't comprehend like my way of doing it, they can only see their own way of doing it. That means that leads them to think like, okay, this person, uh, whenever I do this stuff, this is when I'm like, that's me being lazy, so this person must also be lazy because they're not doing it or whatever. I don't know. These words might not mean anything. It's kind of like how the plague doctor is like writing in his medical book, where it's like it's just nonsense, right? And it could like maybe someday some linguist is watching these and like some documentary and like, yo, we gotta make a meaning out of this gibberish or whatever, and like decipher the Marius codes, beep beep boop boop, and like enhance the features, and yeah, I don't know. Yeah, if there was ever going to be a documentary about me, I feel sorry for the person having to watch through all of this. Oh, yikes. I think, yeah, I don't know. You would need to be obsessed with me to watch through all of these in like, I don't know, or have some goal. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm gonna, yeah, I wanna go do, I don't know, I can clean my apartment maybe, or I could play Balatro for hours. Yeah, that sounds like the plan. Wait, did I have a, where did I have my, the power outlet before? Oh, it was, yeah, because my bed was that way. Huh. And then I had, okay. Yeah, now I have it over there. So I could actually, yeah, I can play Balatro here. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go play Balatro or wake up and take a shower. I don't know. The hardest questions to answer. Yeah. Goodbye, have a day, and do the gay, I don't know, something.